Chapter 16. Is it a prize or a punishment? Boom. The ancient Song silver shop collapsed and fell. Ah, my legs, my silver. A series of miserable screams came out from the ruins. Outside the ancient Song silver shop, many people who had grabbed gold and silver fled in a hurry. On top of the next door restaurant, Guhan also looked at this scene in shock. Righteous Father, how did this ancient Song silver shop collapse? Guhan said in surprise. Guhai coldly smiled and said, the ancient Song silver shop is not just about gold and silver. All kinds of furniture are of the highest grade. Even the beams and pillars are all made of gold and mu. Ah, they even robbed the room beams and pillars. Guhan was completely convinced by this group of robbers, who wouldn't want something for nothing. Guhai revealed a cold smile and said, rumble. At that moment, a large number of city guards came running from afar. Whew. Ancient Song silver shop was robbed, and the news spread throughout Song City in an instant. That was the largest silver shop in Song City. The wealth hidden inside was countless. Countless people flocked in and became rich overnight in the blink of an eye. Many people who didn't have the time to participate are beating their chests, a burst of red eyes, while also waiting for news from the government. The people involved, the same hide the loot, waiting for the official news in general. Song City instantly became calm. Then some days before are calm, are eagerly waiting, are waiting patiently. Therefore, only this one ancient Song silver shop was robbed. Other ancient house property at this moment has not been the people's looting. Everyone is waiting for the news, waiting for the next day at the court on the characterization of this matter of news. The news passed to the hands of the ministers in the court. Such a huge news, indeed. Let countless officials a suddenly complex mood. Tomorrow's meeting. I do not know how to take a position. Many ministers ran in all directions, looking for colleagues to discuss the matters of tomorrow morning. The news was likewise transmitted to the palace. Many people in the harem have shouted, good robbery. Ancient devil's things, just to be robbed. If it were me, I would also grab it. That ancient Song silver shop, or even I have only been there a few times. That level of luxury. It's even more impressive than the palace. This is great. The shop in Guhai was robbed. The emperor must be happy. The people's hearts are available. Many people shouted, while the old emperor was also in the upper study, listening to his subordinates carefully, reporting everything from earlier. His brows furrowed as he analyzed all sorts of things. Go and invite Eunuch Pang and Prime Minister Liu to come and discuss, the old emperor commanded. Yes, in the Crown Prince's residence. Crown Prince Song listened to his subordinates report the news of today's ancient Song silver shop. Crown Prince, this is not the time to be happy. A staff member in front of him laughed bitterly. Crown Prince Song frowned as he looked at the several staff members in front of him. Crown Prince, Guhai's shop being smashed and robbed is indeed a matter of great joy. But, behind this matter, there is a nagging problem hidden behind it. A shogun said with a bitter smile. What problem? Prince Song said in a deep voice. How is this case characterized? The ancient Song silver shop, which is indeed Guhai's shop, was robbed by the people this time. Should the people who robbed it be punished, or should they be rewarded? What the people did, is it right or wrong? Robbery is a violation of the law, depending on the laws of my Song dynasty. The law, the country's heavy weapon, shall not be messed up. The law is the fundamental of governing the people. Trampling on the law is trampling on the king's power. A staff said, yes, Prince, say the people are wrong. The people are serving the country. Say the people are right. The people are trampling on the law. Should the people be rewarded or punished for being right or wrong? I think right now, the ministers are all having a headache. And the people of Song City also waiting for the qualification given in tomorrow morning's court. Another staff member also laughed bitterly. Prince Song opened his mouth, momentarily surprised. Were the people right or wrong? This required an official characterization, but how to characterize it at this time? The room fell into silence for a moment. This was an extremely tricky issue. If my Song government had raided the ancient Song silver shop, there wouldn't be so many problems. Crown Prince Song laughed bitterly. It is very likely that the Song's business system will be messed up. The people suddenly, a lot of things cannot be purchased, inevitably produce civil unrest. And then secondly, the propaganda of the evil of Guhai is only to prevent Guhai conspiracy. The people will only hate Guhai, but will not be afraid. If it's a full-scale purge, it's likely to create a feeling that Song is in peril, which will cause the people to be terrified. Prince Song's face revealed a hint of eccentricity. Perhaps the emperor has also thought about raiding the ancient Song silver shops, and may have even been prepared to do it in order to eliminate the hidden dangers. After all, reward or punishment? The curator smiled bitterly. Prince Song. The room once again fell into a silence. Originally a happy event. How did it turn so weird at this moment? Your Highness the Crown Prince. A servant walked in from outside the house. What's wrong? Crown Prince Song said in a deep voice. Merchant seeks an audience. The servant said respectfully. Mr. Chon Han. That merchant. This Chon Han does have a bit of brains, but unfortunately he's too focused on wealth. Although he provides the Crown Prince's residence with great wealth, he doesn't meddle in the matters of the Crown Prince's residence. It's good that he doesn't intervene. How can you let a merchant interfere in the prince's affairs? While the group of staff whispered, Crown Prince Song had already ordered someone to go and invite them. Soon, Gu Han was introduced into the house. My humble servant has met His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, and I have met all the lords, Gu Han said with a smile. Mr. Chon doesn't need to be polite. The Crown Prince smiled. The crowd of staff members also smiled slightly. After all, Gu Han never interfered in the matters of the Crown Prince's residence, and there was no conflict of interest with the crowd. Mr. Tron, what is your business here? Prince Song asked curiously. Gu Han smiled slightly for a while and said, I think the Crown Prince also knows about the matter of the ancient Song silver shop. Oh, the crowd looked puzzled. Mr. came for this matter. Prince Song frowned. Mr. Chon does not dare to judge this matter. Mr. Chon has no talent, just a merchant, unable to share the prince's worries. This time I came, just to bring a little bit of what Mr. Chon sees. Perhaps what I see in the eyes of a commoner is not the same as your lordship's point of view. Just for your reference, Gu Han politely said. The crowd looked curiously at Gu Han. On the second day, Song City, above the court hall, the king of Song was sitting on top of the dragon chair, overlooking the group of ministers, who seemed to have experienced a heated argument. Many of them were still red in the face. The ancient sea has long been rumored to be a devil, cut off the devil wing, but also to support justice. Each has a theory. This palace is not talented. Say my thoughts, Crown Prince Song solemnly said. Crown Prince, please speak. The left column's Crown Prince Pang said in a deep voice. King Song also stared at Crown Prince Song. An old minister at the head of the right column of the group of officials stepped forward. Return all the loot of that day. A slight punishment, as a warning, Prime Minister Liu solemnly said. How does this make the people look? You can seize and not return the ancient sea. Prime Minister Liu frowned. If we don't return the ancient sea, then it's going into my treasury. So what's the end effect of a massive search? Competing with the people for stolen goods. The state competing with the people. Are you trying to isolate my Song officialdom from the people? No, to antagonize, Prince Song sneered. My Song has already made a big fuss about the evil of Guhai in the early stage. My position can never change. I can never stand on Guhai's side and help Guhai to recover his losses. And even more so, I can't strike the people's confidence in hating Guhai when they are in a high state of mind. Then what the Crown Prince means is that the people can't be punished. Prime Minister Liu frowned. Not bad. They went to the ancient Song silver shop only after cutting off ancient C's wings, so naturally they can't be punished. Prince Song solemnly said. Can't be punished? But they trampled on my great Song laws. Do they still need to be rewarded? My great Song laws are sacred and cannot be trampled on. No one can. Otherwise, once the law collapses, and there is no law in the hearts of the people, then Song is going to come to an end, Prime Minister Liu anxiously said. Prime Minister Liu, you're overthinking it. That's what I was about to say. The law is dead and the people are alive. This time the matter is special, so we should peel away to see it. Prince Song laughed. Suppose we strip the Guhai away from the law of my Song country. Prince Song laughed. The crowd frowned as they looked towards Prince Song. Those who endanger our country just not be tolerated. Why should my Song law protect the shops of the ancient sea? Instead, my son feels that the people did the right thing and did well. While we were still thinking about whether or not to seize Guhai's shops, the patriots among the people were already a step ahead and started to take action. Crown Prince Song spoke. The group of ministers frowned in thought. We did so much propaganda early on, propagating the evils of the ancient sea, which led to yesterday's anti-ancient sea incident, and if we punish the anti-ancient sea people today, then what was our earlier propaganda? A joke, claptrap, or a joke? A nation cannot stand without trust. A king has no jokes. The state's authority is not to be blasphemed. Crown Prince Song shouted in a loud voice. Above the dragon chair, the King of Song's eyes narrowed slightly as he nodded. Crown Prince, what do you mean? Instead of impunity, you want to commend them, reward them for the robbery, Prime Minister Liu said with an ugly face. Commendation is not necessary. Verbal encouragement is sufficient. Pardon their innocence, Prince Song solemnly said. Prime Minister Liu frowned and worried. Prime Minister Liu, why are you so worried about the ancient sea industry? Prince Song said in a cold voice. I'm concerned. What do I care about? Just how many industries does Guhai have? Do you know how much wealth there is? Why not the government to seize this robbery? Can Prime Minister Liu anxiously said. Prince Song coldly smiled, shook his head and said, wealth is much, I know. No matter who will be red in the eyes. Even if I know so much wealth, I will also be red in the eyes. I also want to seize down myself. However, Prime Minister Liu, don't forget, is it these riches that are important? Or is it my Song kingdom that is important? Everyone in the great hall looked solemn. Father, Guhai's wealth is much. Anyone would want it. However, compared to my Song kingdom, it is nothing. Since the Gu Song silver shop has been characterized, the people went to rob the Gu mansion's wealth. So let's rob it. The government seized it. The people also robbed it. What if a conflict arises? What if there is a conflict? What if it's made an article by Guhai? Prince Song said in a deep voice. But Prime Minister Liu anxiously said, Father, the people are robbing the wealth of the ancient sea because we are publicizing the evil of the ancient sea. This is in accordance with our great Song and should be encouraged. It is only when the wealth of the ancient sea is given up to the people that the people are grateful. The people are convinced, so that our propaganda is more convincing. Although the wealth of the ancient sea, or my Song Junction important, my son feels that yesterday's anti-Guhai incident should be encouraged, not punished. Crown Prince Song spoke solemnly to the old emperor. The group of ministers whispered for a while. The old minister supports what the Crown Prince said. Although the wealth is large, but if it settles the people's hearts, everything is worth it. Eunuch Pang spoke up. I second the motion. I second the motion. For a time, the courtroom was lopsidedly on Prince Song's side. King Song sat on top of the dragon chair, looking at the minister's almost lopsided support for the Crown Prince, and also finally nodded his head. Indeed, what was the point of seizing so much wealth? If Song was destroyed by Guhai, he wouldn't be able to enjoy any more wealth. As long as his own kingdom was still there, everything would be there. I will allow the crown prince to play. The king of Song spoke. Long live the emperor, long live the emperor. The news of the pilgrimage traveled out in the first instance. It's officially pushed the great Song kingdom into the abyss of 10,000 feet. Gu Hon excitedly looked towards Gu Hai. Gu Hai held a teacup and took a sip, the corner of his mouth showing a light smile.